the midst of escalating tensions between Iran and the United States, Iranian media outlets have reported the interception of another advanced U.S.-made cruise missile over the city of Kashan. According to sources like the Tasnim news agency and Press TV, the missile in question was an AGM-158 JSM, known for its low detection capabilities and long-range precision. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, reportedly tracked and neutralized the projectile, marking a significant development in the ongoing conflict narrative. Adding further complexity to the situation, separate reports from Iranian sources claim the interception of an advanced Israeli-linked variant of the missile over western Iran. While details remain sparse, images purportedly showing debris from the downed missile have surfaced online. However, the authenticity of these visuals has not been independently verified, leaving room for skepticism about the validity of these claims. In a dramatic escalation, Iranian officials have announced the downing of 17 U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drones since the onset of hostilities. The MQ-9 Reaper is a high-value surveillance and strike drone extensively utilized by the United States. Iranian military footage has also emerged, allegedly depicting the downing of U.S. fighter aircraft, including the F-15 and F-16 jets, in recent days. Such claims, if confirmed, would signify a notable intensification in the conflict's scale and intensity. However, as of now, there has been no independent confirmation of these incidents, and U.S. officials have not made any public responses to the latest reports. A dramatic incident unfolded when a U.S. Air Force F-15E Strike Eagle was reportedly brought down deep within Iranian territory. The downing of this symbol of precision and power marked the beginning of a high-stakes race against time as two aircrew members descended into hostile ground. In response, the American military promptly launched a combat search and rescue mission, a doctrine-driven response that quickly escalated beyond routine. What began as a recovery operation rapidly transformed into a dangerous mission, as reports suggested of massive aerial mobilization into contested airspace. Rescue helicopters, surveillance drones, and heavily armed support aircraft converged in a tightly coordinated effort to rescue the downed aircrew. But as they moved into the area, they faced the formidable challenge of Iranian air defense systems, which lit up the skies, turning the mission into a volatile clash where every moment carried the weight of life loss and potential escalation. The operation involved a symphony of precision and risk, with HC-130J Combat King II aircraft carving paths through uncertainty, HH-60 Blackhawks moving under constant threat, and UH-60 Blackhawks moving under constant threat. Above them, A-10 attack jets provided cover, while MQ-9 Reaper drones observed from the shadows. According to defense sources, this may have evolved into one of the most complex and costly recovery operations undertaken by U.S. forces in the post-Cold War era. Low-altitude operations, a tactic often used to avoid radar detection, significantly increased the vulnerability of the aircraft to short-range air defense systems. During these operations, Iranian air defenses reportedly engaged several of the aircraft, resulting in the loss of 12 aircraft, according to Sputnik. Footage that circulated widely on social media appeared to show two Black Hawk helicopters going down during the operation, drawing significant attention to the scale of the incident. Additional reports from U.S. and regional sources suggested that two UH-60 helicopters, two MQ-9 drones, and an A-10 providing air cover were shot down. A reconnaissance drone, identified as an Israeli Hermes 900 and believed to have been assisting with intelligence gathering, was also reportedly lost in the same series of engagements. Further complications emerged when two HC-130J aircraft and two MH-6 helicopters were said to have landed inside Iranian territory during the rescue attempt. U.S. sources later claimed that these aircraft were intentionally destroyed by American forces on the ground to prevent them from falling into Iranian hands. However, alternative claims circulated suggesting the aircraft may have been destroyed by Iranian strikes, with some analysts questioning whether the official account was aimed at managing public perception. Military analysts have noted that shortages of beyond visual range missiles have affected both U.S. and Israeli operations, forcing aircraft to fly closer to targets to deploy conventional gravity bombs. This shift has increased exposure to Iranian air defense networks, raising the stakes for both sides. Although deep strike missions were reportedly scaled back in late March following the confirmed loss of an advanced fighter to a surface-to-air missile, the constraints imposed by munition shortages suggest that high-risk sorties may continue despite the mounting losses. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for the Qatam al-Anbiya Air Defense Base, part of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, claimed that U.S. forces deliberately bombed their stranded aircraft inside Iran to prevent them from being captured. Iranian fighters had fully encircled the area, the spokesperson alleged. Asterisk, leaving U.S. forces no option but to destroy their own equipment, personnel, and assets, to avoid what he described as a humiliating spectacle for Washington and its military leadership. The statement further alleged that several U.S. aircraft were hit and forced into emergency landings south of Isfahan, including two C-130 transport planes and two Black Hawk helicopters. The IRGC characterized the entire U.S. effort as a failed operation, asserting that no amount of messaging, media management, or psychological tactics could undo the outcome on the ground. As tensions between the United States and Iran continue to rise, the latest report suggests a series of significant developments that could potentially escalate the confrontation further. According to Iranian media sources, including the Tasnim news agency and Press TV, Iran's air defense units operated by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, have successfully intercepted an AGM-158 Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff Missile, JASM. This advanced U.S.-made cruise missile, known for its low detection capabilities and long-range precision, was reportedly shot down over the city of Kashan. Iranian defense official, the interception of this missile marks a crucial success for our defense capabilities and demonstrates our readiness to protect Iranian airspace against any form of aggression. Adding to the complexity of the situation, separate Iranian reports have surfaced claiming the interception of an advanced variant of the missile linked to Israeli capabilities over western Iran. While details are limited, images purportedly showing debris from the downed missile have appeared online. However, these visuals have not been independently verified, leading to skepticism about the accuracy of these claims. Meanwhile, Iranian officials have announced that they have shot down a total of 17 U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drones since the onset of the conflict. The MQ-9 Reaper, a high-value surveillance and strike drone, is widely used by the United States in modern warfare. Iranian military footage has also emerged, allegedly showing the downing of U.S. fighter aircraft, including F-15 and F-16 jets, in recent days. If confirmed, these claims would mark a significant escalation in both the scale and intensity of the confrontation. However, there has been no independent confirmation of these incidents, and U.S. officials have not publicly responded to the latest reports. In a dramatic turn of events, a U.S. Air Force F-15E Strike Eagle, renowned for its precision and power, was reportedly shot down deep within Iranian territory. The loss of this aircraft initiated a high-stakes race against time as two aircrew members descended into hostile ground below. In response, the American military launched an urgent combat search and rescue mission, a doctrine-driven response that quickly evolved into a perilous operation. Military analyst, what started as a recovery mission rapidly transformed into an unprecedented and dangerous engagement, with a massive aerial mobilization entering contested airspace. Rescue helicopters, surveillance drones, and heavily armed support aircraft converged in a tightly coordinated effort. However, Iranian air defense systems aggressively engaged with the U.S. rescue mission, turning the operation into a volatile clash. Reports suggest that during these operations, Iranian air defenses engaged several American aircraft, resulting in the loss of numerous assets. A particularly intense engagement reportedly led to the loss of 12 aircrafts, including Black Hawk helicopters, MQ-9 drones, and an A-10 providing air cover. Addition, Ally, an Israeli Hermes 900 reconnaissance drone, believed to be assisting with intelligence gathering, was also reportedly lost in the same series of engagements. Further complications arose when two HC-130J Combat King II aircraft and two MH-6 helicopters were said to have landed inside Iranian territory during the rescue attempt. U.S. sources claim that these aircraft were intentionally destroyed by American forces on the ground to prevent them from falling into Iranian hands. However, alternative narratives suggest that they may have been destroyed by Iranian strikes, with analysts questioning whether the official account was aimed at managing public perception. Iranian military spokesperson, U.S. forces deliberately bombed their stranded aircraft inside Iran to prevent them from being captured. Our fighters had fully encircled the area, leaving U.S. forces no option but to destroy their own equipment, personnel, and assets to avoid what we describe as a humiliating spectacle for Washington and its military leadership. The incident highlights ongoing challenges faced by U.S. and allied military operations in the region, particularly with shortages of beyond visual range missiles affecting both U.S. and Israeli operations. As a result, aircraft have increasingly been forced to fly closer to targets to deploy conventional gravity bombs, raising exposure to Iranian air defense networks. Despite scaling back deep strike missions in response to confirmed losses from surface-to-air missiles, the constraints imposed by munition shortages suggest that high-risk sorties may continue. The strategic and operational implications of these developments are profound. The U.S. military's reliance on air superiority and advanced technology is being tested in a region where adversarial capabilities are consistently evolving. The potential loss of high-value assets not only impacts operational capabilities, but also carries significant geopolitical ramifications. Moreover, the situation ITN underscores the delicate balance of power in the region and the potential for miscalculations to trigger broader conflicts. As both sides continue to assert their military capabilities and engage in strategic posturing, the risk of escalation remains high. In conclusion, while the authenticity of some claims remains uncertain, the ongoing developments in the Iran-U.S. confrontation are indicative of a volatile and complex geopolitical landscape. Both nations appear locked in a strategic standoff, with each side aiming to assert dominance and deter aggression. As the situation unfolds, the international community will be closely monitoring developments, hoping for a resolution that averts further escalation and promotes stability in the region.